Okay, the next chapter I'm reading from the BFG is titled The Palace. By gumdrops, the BFG said. Is this really it? There's the palace, Sophie whispered back. Not more than 100 yards away, through the tall trees in the garden, across the mown lawns and the tidy flower beds, the massive shape of the palace itself loomed through the darkness. It was made of whitish stone. Their sheer size staggered the BFG. "But this place has hundreds of bedrooms at least, eh?" he said. "Easily, I should think," Sophie replied. "Then I'm boggled," the BFG said. "How am I possibly going to find the one where the Queen is sleeping?" "Let's go a bit closer and have a look," Sophie whispered. The BFG glided forward through the trees. Suddenly, he stopped dead. The great ear in which Sophie was sitting began to swivel around. "Hey," Sophie said, "you're going to tip me out." "Shh," the BFG whispered back. "I hear something." He stopped behind a clump of bushes and he waited. The ear was still swiveling this way and that. Sophie had to hang on tight to the side of it to save herself from tumbling out. The BFG pointed through a gap in the bushes, and there, not more than 50 yards away, he saw a man paddling softly across the lawn. He had a guard dog with him on a leash. The BFG stayed as still as a stone, and so did Sophie. The man and the dog walked on and disappeared into the darkness. "You was telling me they had no soldiers in the back garden, eh?" the BFG said. "He was not a soldier," Sophie said. "He was some sort of watchman. We're going to have to be careful." "I's not too worried," the BFG said. "These waxy big ears of mine pick up even the noise of a man breathing on the other side of the garden." "How much longer before it gets light?" Sophie asked. "Very short. We must go pell-mell for leather now." He glided forward through the vast garden, and once again Sophie noticed how he seemed to melt into the shadows wherever he went. His feet made no sound at all, even when he was walking on gravel. Suddenly, they were right up close against the back wall of the great palace. The BFG's head was level with the upper windows, one flight up, and Sophie, sitting in his ear, had the same view. In all the windows on that floor, the curtains seemed to be drawn. There were no lights showing anywhere. In the distance, they could hear the muted sound of traffic going around Hyde Park Corner. The BFG stopped and put his other ear, the one Sophie wasn't sitting in, close to the first window. "Nope," he said. "What are you listening for?" she asked. "For breathing," the BFG said. "I'm able to tell if it's a man, human being, or a lady by breathing voice. There's a man in there, and he's snorting a bit too." He glided on, flattening his tall, thin, black cloaked body against the side of the building. He came to the next window and he listened. "No," he said, and he moved on. "This room's empty here." He listened in at several more windows, but at each one he shook his head and continued on. When he came to the window in the very center of the palace, he listened, and he did not move. "Oh, oh," he said. "We got a lady sleeping in there." Sophie felt a little quiver go running down her spine. "But who?" she said. BFG put a finger to his lips for silence. He reached up through the open window and he parted the curtains ever so slightly. The orange glow from the night sky over London crept into the room and cast a glimmer of light onto its walls. It was a large room, a lovely room, a rich carpet, gilded chairs, a dressing table, a bed, and on the pillow of the bed lay the head of a sleeping woman. Sophie suddenly found herself looking at a face she had seen on stamps and coins and in the newspapers her whole life. And for a few seconds she was speechless. "Is that her?" he asked. "Yes," Sophie whispered back.